You receive an email from a random email address offering some friendly financial advice that's telling you a certain stock will go up over the next few weeks. Over the next week, you watch the stock closely, and sure enough, it went up. A few weeks later, that same financial advisor sent another letter to say the stock was going to go down over the following few weeks. As you watched, the stock did go down. That same financial advisor sent you another 8 emails, each time predicting correctly the movement of every stock he told you to watch. A perfect prediction 10 out of 10 times. But then, the 11th email asks you to invest a large amount of money through his firm. Remember, he has been absolutely spot on 10 times. What would you do? Let's rewind and give you a sneak into the full picture. Assuming the stockbroker didn't know anything and was predicting through random guesses, what are the odds of him getting the prediction right all 10 times? It's actually pretty easy to calculate that. Since we're assuming he's making random guesses, he has a 50% chance of being right about the rise and fall of stocks in the first email. Since we received 10 emails and he guessed correctly 10 times, the chances he got them right each time would be the staggering odds of 1 in 1024. Well, here's what you didn't see. The sneaky financial advisor didn't just send you an email. He first sent out 1024 emails, but they weren't all the same. Half of them predicted a rise and other half a fall in the stocks. Half of the people that received the email received the wrong prediction. The next week, he sends emails only to the 512 people who got the right prediction in the first week, sending 256 people an email saying the stocks will rise and another 256 that the stock will fall. This goes on until the 10th week, when there's only one unlucky person left who has been successfully conned, and that's you. Apart from an intriguing parable, this is really a priceless exercise in understanding probability. To quote Aristotle, it is probable that improbable things will happen. I guess what I'm trying to say is, given enough trials, you will get one odd case where you receive a very improbable result. I first heard about this in a book called How Not to Be Wrong, The Power of Mathematical Thinking by Jordan Ellenberg. She compared the situation to a game of Scrabble. When you don't find a desired letter to complete a word, you have an urge to reach into the bag and keep replacing your letters till you find the letter. Here, you are adapted to understanding the law of probability. Although it's improbable that you'll find the X you're searching for, you know if you look hard enough, you certainly will. But when it comes to other situations, such as let's say finding diet plans online, you're likely to overlook the thousands that have not benefited from the plan by concentrating on the few people that have, simply because the 2 people out of 1,000 who have benefited from the plan post about it. The diet working for 2 people doesn't say anything about the diet working in general. This is a specific type of selection bias called survivorship bias, defined as the logical error of concentrating on people or things that made it past some selection process and overlooking those that did not, typically because of their lack of visibility. Another imminent place where something similar could be observed is in academic research, the publication bias. When the outcome of an experiment or research study influences the decision whether to publish or otherwise distribute it. Studies with significant result can be of the same standard as studies with a null result with respect to quality of execution and design. However, statistically significant results are 3 times more likely to be published than papers with null results. Just as you don't see the many failed attempts with the stockbroker and only his one very improbable success, it's possible we disregard many studies with counterintuitive results for one study that satisfies our current scientific understanding. Publishing only results that show significant finding disturbs the balance of findings and inserts bias in favor of positive results, which, needless to say, could have grave implications in academia and an unspeakable number of other fields and situations. Thank you for watching. Like and comment to show us some love. Share with your cool friends, and of course, subscribe and turn your notification bell on for more.